Hi everyone, it's me, I'm back. I'll be down here. So today I'm gonna be doing what is this? Listening at school or work discussion video. So I'm gonna be answering two, the second one's a really long one, but we're gonna be answering two questions today. So let's do that.
Why is listening important when working with a group?
I feel like whenever you're a part of a group or whenever you're in a team, depending on what the situation may be, uh, you always want to feel like, at least for me personally, I feel like I am a part of the whole. Like the team as a whole, if the team wins, I win. We succeed as a whole, I succeed too, and that's what teamwork's all about, right? I don't want to put myself first. I want to put the team first. I want to do what's best for the group, majority rules and everything like that, and so that's why it's important. You won't know what the group wants if you don't know what everybody wants, and even then the group can't do what everybody wants. The group has to come to a concise, singular decision, and therefore by knowing what your group wants, like, everybody can make that decision better.
Describe a time where you were required to work with a group. How did you actively listen to your group? Which roles do you most often fill in groups? Which roles would you like to start filling more or less often? Did conflict ever arise between members? Did everyone listen to people's ideas? What happened in the end?
So I just recently took the small group class with Professor Kirk. It was a pretty cool class in terms of what it could be around this time. It's COVID season, so it's not like I could see my classmates in person. I kind of had to just Zoom them or FaceTime them. Luckily, everybody in my group had an iPhone, so we were able to FaceTime, which was pretty cool. So whenever we did arrange a time to meet, due to all of our busy schedules, it was really difficult for us to kind of like come together, make sure everybody was heard and everybody was paying attention, just because for people to show up like during work or for people to show up after work or before work, obviously it was challenging for them, and it was challenging for me too. I still work, and I understand that life happens, and I just think that we made the best of what we had and the time that we had and the situations and the circumstances that we had. So I think that was what made my group succeed in the end. That's what allowed us to listen to each other better. Honestly, I don't really like to put the tag of leader on myself. I don't like to take that. Um, Usually, like, obviously, like in regular normal classes where group work is kind of just an assignment, like a single thing. Uh, most of the time, I would always do all the work. I would always try to like make sure the PowerPoint looked good. I always made sure that our notes were well. I always made sure that we all knew what we had to do. And that's just a role that I took on personally in, like, for example, back in high school. Now, in college, where everybody is very much capable of handling their own parts and their own portions of assignments, uh, I think the role that I most fill is the role of coordinator, in terms of making sure people were aware of flow, that people were aware of organization, that people were aware of placement. A lot of the time during this last class, I wasn't really the leader as much as I was just trying to make sure that we were caught up with certain, in certain areas, or I knew that we only had a week to do everything. So we always had to make sure that we were, you know, getting our assignment done and in the process and in the time limit that we had. And every week after every speech, it got shorter and shorter. So we kind of had to learn and and grow this efficient process of how to create a speech together, even though we all had crazy schedules. Honestly, I feel like in this last class, I filled multiple roles. I feel like every single time we had a speech, we all kind of just delve into different areas of the roles in the group. every now and then, one of my classmates, she was the leader. Every now and then, we had a different coordinator that wasn't me. Every now and then we had, you know, somebody who was note keeping. Every now and then we had somebody who was keeping the peace and making sure conflict was resolved. Not that there was any conflict, but I'm just saying that there was different roles at different times for different speeches, and we all kind of just went with whatever people were going with. It wasn't like we had everything planned out. We kind of just did whatever happened. And for me personally, if I like being the coordinator, I like being like knowing what's going on with the group, and I like allowing myself to get involved with everybody. I feel like the role that I would want to fill more is the role of note keeper. A lot of the times I don't really get to just sit and like write down what's going on. Most of the time I'm actually planning things out. I'm actually organizing it. I'm actually bringing out the ideas and putting things on, letting the note keeper know like, hey, put this down, put this down. Um, but I mean, it would be different. It would be different. I feel like I'm a natural born leader, and I feel like a lot of the times, the way I see leadership is a leader is not a good leader unless he does what everybody else wants, or unless he or she is capable of, taking into consideration the group as a whole and not necessarily just what the leader wants. I haven't felt like a leader in a long time. I kind of just like to support whoever seems to be in charge at the time. There was rarely any conflict in our group. I think a lot of the times we were just confused in this class, and we were just kind of trying to figure it out on our own, or decipher whether or not we should email our professor. But it wasn't difficult for us to come to a group conclusion and just kind of go with that. And in the end, it all worked out. I think our class was able to mold and make whatever speeches they wanted in the way that they wanted. And some people were really creative with their speeches, and I think that was awesome. But for us, we kind of took a more follow the outline that we were given, and just go from there. And every now and then, whenever there was more main points or more arguments or more counter arguments, we were able to add and shift and move things around. And I think that was what was how we resolved a lot of the conflict, even though there was none really. I had such a great group, and we were all so understanding and compassionate towards each other. I think that in that way, our group was able to work pretty peacefully, in my opinion. Anytime people had different ideas, anytime people wanted to express themselves, we allowed each other to have the time to explain and to provide an explanation. Just because sometimes other people's ideas and perspectives are better than what we currently have, and we were so open to that. And like I said, it wasn't like there was just a one specific person that was doing everything. We all played a part, and we all ultimately created the product. What happened in the end, we did a pretty good job. I feel like as a group, we were able to put together pretty good speeches. We were always graded an A in our speeches, and there was only 3 in the semester. So I mean, I think that says a lot. I think that even though there was little things that we could have fixed and done better, as a group we were able to listen to each other, work together very well, complete our roles, fill in our assignment portions, and just ultimately do a great job as a team. And I think that's what matters the most. So that was my listening at school and work discussion video. If you guys ever have to work in a group, make sure you listen to each other, and make sure you do your best to try to do what's best for the group as a whole and not just for yourself.